Pat.
Yes, Ian.
Pat, we have a Patreon. Tell us about the Patreon, Pat. How do we access it, Patrick?
Well, Ian, you can go to your web browser, to your hypertext transfer protocol.
Good.
/ www.patreon.com/CU podcast.
What do you get there, Pat?
Oh, you can buy stuff there, Ian.
Can you?
You can get
Buy services and goods.
You can get Ian's weekly writing, which
Gotta do one today.
I thought I would have had one by now, but that's all right. You can also get the monthly Ian Google Hangout. You also get access to the Discord to chat, which Ian hasn't been there in a while. I know that.
Do you use Discord a lot?
I stopped in recently to say hi.
I'll stop in.
All right, and then I'm not trying to shame you. And then you also get the weekly Patreon poll topic vote, and you get first access to it. And this week, Ian,
What do we win?
this is a tight one, tight race. Third place.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on Star Trek Picard? And some people thinking it's too political. I'll just say this: the original Star Trek series literally had an episode where aliens were half black and half white, fighting the other alien that was half black and half white the opposite way in the 60s. And you're trying to tell me that Star Trek was too political now, or it was always political. That's all I'm going to say.
Yes.
Star Trek's political.
It's
super political.
And it's generally left-leaning political.
Yes,
So
it's always progressive.
So if you don't like it, stop watching
It literally takes place in a future where money doesn't matter, and we all have all the food and resources we ever want. So anyway, sorry. Going on to second place. Split. This was almost tied again. In second place, what game franchise has been destroyed by greed? 46%.
Oh.
Number one, Ian. Games you enjoyed but would never play again. Ian, do you want me to go first?
I can go first.
Since you sassed me before the podcast?
No, I can go first.
Okay.
I have a few. Mostly stuff that's competitive, but it's stuff that I acknowledge that I really enjoy it, but I'll probably never go back to it.
Okay.
One in particular is Overwatch. I loved Overwatch when it came out. We talked about Overwatch earlier on the podcast. Thought it was a great game. I loved the design. I loved the style. I loved all the different I loved all the variety between the characters, both in terms of how they played and just how the game looked. The game was different than your usual first-person shooter. It was
colorful.
Bright. It was bright. It was colorful. There was lots of blues and oranges, and not as many like browns and greens and blacks. You know, it was vibrant, and I had a lot of fun with it. But it's a game that people who play it fairly frequently, and they get good at it. And if you want to stay active in it, you have to practice, and that's fine. I'm not upset with that, but I just don't have the time to put into a game and stay that good at it. So I'm unlikely to go back, because now when I go back, I'm useless, and I'm only dragging other teams down if I'm playing in I'm playing competitive.
So you're not going back because you're left behind. I interpret this question as you played it but didn't see any value of going back and playing it again. That's how I interpret this question.
No.
Okay.
I mean, I think you could do it either way. Another one would be Rocket League. Love Rocket League.
Never played Rocket League.
Thought it was a lot of fun. Don't know that it would hold me forever. That's partially because I'm not good at it, but also because I'm not sure that I see, like you said, I'm not sure that I would. I played it. I enjoyed it. I think I got out of it what I needed to get out of it.
It seemed fun.
Yeah, and it was cool and it was good, but that was probably about that.
Do you know what film the Psyonix guys who created that game appear in?
I don't know.
They appear in Not For Resale, a video game store documentary.
You're going to tell me.
What a coincidence. Very nice guys. They're in San Diego, Psyonix. And Epic Games bought them out. Sorry. Any others, Ian?
Another one is like, it's still a first-person shooter. I really enjoyed, I don't know that I would go back and play any more like Call of Duty or anything like that. I played Modern Warfare 1. I enjoyed it. I'm sure there will be another good Call of Duty at some point in time, but I don't know that I need multiple good war games. I think I played that one and was like, I got the experience that I would want out of that.
The first Modern Warfare?
Yes. It's not like if that makes sense. It's not that's not my genre. That's not my cup of tea. That's not my theme. War is not my theme. It's not something that I'm huge on. So I don't need multiple good experiences for a type of game like that. I played Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1, and I was like, you know what? That kind of wraps me up on this. I'm good.
You're good shooting your M4 and
whatever
grenade launcher.
Grenades. Boom.
Boom. Well, that kind of leads into mine. at first I was like, well, what games have the least amount of replayability to me? And I think it's first person shooters single player. And then which ones do I really don't have have any sort of desire to play again? And I think it's the 90s first person shooters. And there were a lot of them. And some are clones, not all. So like Blake Stone, which is like, Wolfenstein clone. I don't have to play that ever again. It was fine, but it's like, okay, I got the experience of it. You shoot the guy off, leg off the guy who says medic. I don't have to play Shadow Warrior ever again, which I liked when it came out. I owned it. But I don't know how much more fun I can get out of that playing that single player again. Even like the original Duke Nukem was like, I don't know if I want to go back and play through the first, maybe Duke Nukem, because it's like, to me, iconic, and it sort of was like the next step up for first person shooters. But there was a lot of first person shooters I played in the 90s. What was that one in the late 90s that people were up they were like, oh my God, it has real flamethrower effects. What was that awful one? I remember I played through that piece of garbage and never played again.
No idea.
I'll think of it. It came out like 99 or 98. But anyway, those first-person shooters were so locked in a time and place where they were like the cutting-edge sort of video game, where there's really, to me, not a need for me to ever experience those again. First of all, because the first-person shooter experience is very similar from game to game to begin with, in terms of how you play and how you react to things for the most part. But for those, there was so little of them done intelligently or without some sort of like dumb gimmick to get you to play them originally, that to me, they're just sort of shallow. Most of them.
There are some that I go back and play every once in a while that I think do hold up. Blood, Doom 2.
I can't think of that one. Fuck.
Rise of the Triad.
I was gonna say, I don't think that's one I almost never played. I don't think.
Even the first, Duke 3D. With the build engine coming out, I think some of those are actually fun to go back to. But you're right. What happened with first-person shooters was these big, excellently crafted ones would come out, and then that license that engine would get licensed out, and you'd get a bunch of spin-off games that felt just like Duke, but weren't, or they felt just like Doom, or they felt just like Wolfenstein, but they weren't. And those, I don't think there's any real need to ever go back and
I can go back and play Half-Life, because to me that's a whole story and it's immersive. That's why Half-Life's so important. But God, I cannot think of the one that was so bad, but I like forced myself to play through. Now I'm looking at, there's a whole list of first-person shooters. A game like this isn't the one I'm talking about, but a game like Redneck Rampage that I might have played like 10 minutes of. It's like, I don't think I need to play the rest of that or play that again. Remember Redneck Rampage? That was an actual thing they tried to do for a while.
I do.
Let's see. God, there's a lot of them that came out. It must have been 98 or 99. I'm looking up. There's literally a list of first-person shooters on Wikipedia on here. It's just the sort of games that, to me, have less replay value to go back to. Like a game, like a puzzle game, you can always go back to because every game is different. Or like Civilization, it's always going to be different. That was a big one to me. I'm not sure I can think of anything off the top of my head that would be, what would I not want to ever play again that I enjoyed? It's really tough the more you think about it. Sure. Probably some sports games from the era, because a sports game, unless there's a real pull to that particular sports game, like Tecmo Super Bowl or NBA Jam, there's no reason to go back and play unless it's like an iconic one like NHL or whatever 94.
Sure, but I'm not gonna
play NHL 95 again. I can play NHL 94 or play NHL 96.
The NFL 2K series was amazing, and the first NFL 2K on Dreamcast blew my mind, but I'm never going to go back and play that one specifically.
Yes. I think for sports games, it probably this question has a lot more meat to it, because you had a lot of fun playing those originally. I mean, hell, I love Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball when it came out. I don't have to play that ever again. I played it again for the guy, but okay, this was fun, but I have no intention of playing that game. I'd rather go back and play Baseball Stars, because to me it's a lot more unique and there's more charm to it. It has more character than a game like, even though Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball has a lot of character to it, I shouldn't say that. That's actually not the best example. But there's no reason to play a lot of those games that I owned back then. There's just, why would you when there's a lot of newer sports titles or something that did a lot better. There's a lot of beat 'em ups. Actually, no. There's a lot of beat 'em ups that don't stand up anymore, and I hate using that term, but there's a lot of beat 'em ups that came up out of the 90s too that I would never play again.
Sure.
I have no intention of ever playing Maximum Carnage ever again.
No.
I mean, I replay these for the book, but I mean, like, they're not that
Replaying
polished
them for the
fun.
book reminded you that you don't need to ever play these again.
It reminded me how disappointed I was in it.
Sure.
It could have been that much better. It's not a bad game, but it's just like, okay, it's all right. An okay time playing it, but I'm not gonna ever go, oh Ian, let's get out Maximum Carnage and play it.
Right.
Let's have some hot action. That one was even 2 players simultaneous.
It's one. Yeah, it's one player.
Yeah. Asymmetrical multiplayer. That was a term for it. Asymmetrical.
I said asymmetrical.
Oh, you did. You brought up later.
But I don't think that's right.
But not for what? For the term?
Asymmetrical is when it's not, when you're both doing like very different things.
Yes, it's asymmetrical multiplayer. Not saying that. The only reason I thought of that Maximum Carnage is because you play different characters at different times. That's not asymmetrical multiplayer. But I'm saying that was a term.
Yeah, that's what I thought of.
Okay.
I said that.
Sorry.
That's it.
For something like Friday the 13th. Which I tried playing one time.
Is asymmetrical.
I actually tried playing Friday the 13th one time and I couldn't get into a game. There was like something we were going on the servers. I was like, fuck. The one time I want to play, because Ian gifted that to me. How's Virtual Fishing Simulator going?
It's great.
Is it really good? Mm-hmm. It's not just a drug front. We'll see. He rolls his eyes. Well, we'll see.
We'll see.
We'll see if Principal comes out still. All right, anything else?
Nope, that's it.